For more than 15 years, the world has lived inside apps. We wake up to apps. We work through apps. We socialize, shop, travel, and even think through apps. Every icon on our phones represents a tiny locked room, each demanding attention, updates, passwords, permissions, and endless taps. Somewhere along the way, technology stopped feeling like magic and started feeling like work. But what if the app era was never the final form of computing? What if apps were just a temporary solution, a bridge between keyboards and something far more natural? In early 2024, a small company called Rabbit quietly stepped onto the stage and asked a dangerous question. What if computers didn't need apps at all? What followed wasn't just a product launch. It was a philosophical challenge to everything we believe about human-computer interaction. This is not the story of a gadget. This is the story of the possible end of apps and the beginning of action-based computing. The original promise of computers was simple: help humans get things done faster. Early computers required specialists. Then came personal computers, then smartphones. Each step brought technology closer to the human. But somewhere along the way, complexity crept back in. Smartphones didn't simplify life. They fragmented it. Instead of one intelligent system, we got hundreds of isolated apps that barely talk to each other. Ordering food, booking flights, planning a trip, responding to emails, all of it requires jumping between digital islands. Ironically, the smarter our devices became, the more work they demanded from us. We adapted. We learned gestures. We memorized interfaces. We accepted friction as normal. But humans were never designed to think in menus. Or years, tech giants promised salvation through voice assistants. Siri, Alexa, Cortana. The dream was seductive. Talk to your computer like a human. The reality? Frustration. Voice assistants could hear words, but they couldn't act. They could answer questions but failed at execution. The problem wasn't speech recognition. The problem was agency. They understood language, not intention. And intention is where real intelligence lives. Large language models changed everything. For the first time, machines could understand nuance, context, and ambiguity. But even the smartest LLMs hit a wall. They talked beautifully, but lived behind glass. They could recommend, they could explain, they could simulate, but they couldn't do. Rabbit's core insight was simple and radical. Stop teaching AI how to talk to apps. Teach AI how to use them. Humans don't interact with APIs. We interact with interfaces, buttons, text fields, screens. If an AI could understand interfaces the way humans do, it could operate any software on Earth. Rabbit didn't call their system an LLM. They called it a LAM, a large action model. Not a model that predicts words, but a model that predicts actions. Where an LLM asks, "What is the best response?" a LAM asks, "What should happen next?" Click, scroll, type, confirm. The same way a human navigates software. This was not automation. It was imitation. Many asked the obvious question: why not just make this an app? The answer lies in control. Apps live inside ecosystems. Ecosystems enforce rules. A truly universal action model cannot ask permission. It must observe freely. That required a new operating system, a new philosophy, a new object, not a phone, a companion. The Rabbit R1 doesn't scream for attention. No notifications, no social feeds, no endless scrolling. Just a button, a wheel, a voice. The design philosophy is radical minimalism. If something can be said, it shouldn't be tapped. If something can be done, it shouldn't be learned. Technology fades. Intent remains. For decades, we taught humans how to code. Rabbit flips the equation. Now humans teach machines by example. Watch, learn, repeat. No syntax, no logic trees, no engineering degree. This is not low code. This is no code reality. Imagine a future where you don't install software. You describe outcomes. Travel isn't booked. It's planned. Food isn't ordered. It arrives. Workflows don't exist. Results do. This is not convenience. Every paradigm shift brings resistance. Privacy, trust, control. If machines can act for us, who is responsible? Who decides? And what happens when the interface disappears entirely? This is a redefinition of computing. Most revolutions don't look like revolutions. They look small, odd, incomplete. The Rabbit R1 may fail, but the idea will not, because once humans taste intention-based computing, there is no going back. The future of computing will not be louder. It will be quieter. No apps, no screens, no friction, just intent and execution. Many asked why Rabbit built hardware at all. The answer lies in freedom. Apps live inside ecosystems controlled by corporations. Permissions are limited. Behavior is restricted. To build a universal action model, Rabbit needed full control, from operating system to interaction model. The result was not a phone, it was a companion. The Rabbit R1 does not compete for attention. There are no endless notifications, no feeds, no infinite scroll. The device exists to be used. and then forgotten. This is intentional. The best interface is the one you don't notice. Programming has always required translation. Humans explain what they want. Machines require formal logic. Teach mode removes the translation. Show the machine. Let it observe. This is how humans teach humans. Now machines learn the same way. In a world without apps, outcomes replace interfaces. You don't open software. You express intent. Technology becomes invisible. And invisibility is the highest form of design. With power comes fear. If machines act for us, who is responsible? These questions do not have easy answers, but every technological leap has faced them. The rabbit R1 may not succeed, but it doesn't have to. It only has to prove that another path exists. For decades, computers have waited for instructions. They waited for clicks. They waited for taps. They waited for perfect input. Humans adapted their behavior to machines, not the other way around. Action-based computing flips this relationship. Instead of asking users what button to press next, the system observes context, location, time, history, preference. When a human says, "I'm running late," that is no longer a complaint. It becomes a trigger. Traffic is checked. Messages are sent. Meetings are updated. No confirmation dialogues. No friction. This is not automation. This is delegation. Friction is invisible when it is constant. Every tap costs attention. Every menu costs time. Over a lifetime, the average smartphone user will perform millions of meaningless interactions. Scrolling, switching, searching. Action-based systems aim to eliminate micro-decisions. Not because humans are lazy, but because creativity dies under constant interruption. The less you manage tools, the more you focus on thinking. Imagine starting your workday without opening a single app. You don't launch email. You don't open spreadsheets. You don't manage calendars. You simply say, "Prepare my day." The system summarizes priorities, drafts responses, reschedules conflicts. Work becomes outcomes, not processes. This is not faster work. It is lighter work. Schools teach software, menus, interfaces, tools, but those tools will not exist forever. In an intent-driven world, education shifts from how to use software to how to think clearly. The most valuable skill becomes articulation. If you can explain what you want, the system can do the rest. A machine that acts is powerful, too powerful to be unregulated. Trust will define adoption. Users must know what the system can do, what it cannot do, when it is acting. Transparency becomes a feature, not a policy. If apps disappear, entire industries change. No app stores, no downloads. Businesses compete on results, not interfaces. Brand loyalty shifts from logos to reliability. Who delivers outcomes better? That is the only question that matters. Paradigm shifts are slow. The old system resists. Apps will coexist with companions, but convenience always wins. And once action-based systems feel normal, apps will feel ancient. Every generation believes its tools are permanent. They never are. The keyboard replaced punch cards. Touch replaced keyboards. Intent will replace interfaces. The last interface is not a screen. It is understanding. For decades, every new technology came with instructions, books, tutorials, onboarding flows. We accepted that learning the tool was the price of using it. Action-based computing rejects this assumption entirely. If a system requires training, it has already failed. The ideal machine does not explain itself. It observes, it adapts, it improves silently. In this future, curiosity replaces documentation. Context is everything. Humans forget details. Machines do not. They remember preferences, habits, mistakes, and patterns across years. This creates an uncomfortable truth. At some point, your companion may understand your routines better than you do, not because it is conscious, but because it is consistent. This is both powerful and unsettling. Action-based systems do not need feelings. They only need sensitivity, detecting hesitation, recognizing stress, responding with simplicity. Empathy becomes a design principle, not a personality trait. The goal is not to feel human. The goal is to respect humans.